Hi everyone. Welcome to Easy Ideas to Spark Your Creativity. I'm Deborah C., founder of Wise Women Create. Beginning a creative project can be the hardest part. In this video, I'll run through some easy ideas for art making that you can do to get you moving into your creative flow. So let's get started. We'll begin with a few Soulcollage cards. Soulcollage is a wonderful process created by Sina Frost. I'm a certified facilitator and have used this process in my work for many years. It's a wonderful process for self-discovery, and I find it informs my art making as a painter. What I love about this process is you can dive right in as the tools are simple. Scissors, a glue stick, index cards or cardstock, a few magazines, and you're on your way. Now each of these cards was created around a theme, sometimes emerging and sometimes not. This particular card is called the Mythic Traveler. She represents one of the archetypes explored as part of an online course I offer called The Art of Dream Weaving. I'll put a link in the description below to how I made this card and a little more about the class. By the way, you can collage on almost anything. Go beyond cards and journals. Try a circle or other objects and shapes. This collage was made using a cake plate. I'll be posting a video on how I made this card later this year. So be sure to subscribe so that you can keep up on the latest videos that I'm posting. This card was really fun to make, and it offered a very different experience to work in a circular shape and on something so large. I'd like to take a moment and talk about journals. There are so many ways to journal. It's an art form in of itself. Now some of you may feel that you can't draw, but yet would like to add some visual interest to your writing. So just know that anyone can ease into visual art making by simply adding images that inspire you to your writing, just as I've done here in this little journal. You may find the images inspire what you create and add interest when you go back through what you have written. Now here's a larger journal that shows how you can add to this idea with other art techniques and spike things up as you grow. I like to set up little art challenges for myself. One challenge was to do a sketch a day. So I used ink to avoid getting picky and to keep it simple. Of course, I did cheat with some color. But these can be photocopied and used in your collages. So for example, on this one, I've made a photocopy here, and I'm going to use it in one of my art collage cards. Next is a small sketchbook journal. Now I like these because they are small. It helps to keep things simple and easy. Not everything needs to be a masterpiece, so consider aiming to be incomplete. You may find this freeing. So this is just a birch tree I did a simple watercolor of out in the yard. And oh yeah, and we have some flowers. So this keeps things fun and easy, and I have a tendency to feel like everything has to be some big finished thing when I'm done with it, but sometimes you got to put the fun back into it. So I find this really helps a lot. Here's an idea if you attend events and take notes. Bring a large hardback moleskin with you. Sketch while you take notes. I've been going to trainings with Dr. Estes for many years now, and over that time I've created what I call my personal wisdom journals of sketches that I create while I'm taking notes. You can take any of these sketches and copy them and use them in any of your other artworks if you'd like. I also find going back through the notes, the sketches make it more fun. Speaking of books, this is an accordion book for the obvious reason. We've taken heavy paper and folded it so we have 4 sides in the front and on the back. Now, this is a great way to develop an idea or a story. This one here I started but didn't finish, and I think I will go ahead and finish this. I like it, and I can do a lot of things on this paper. You can paint, you can collage, you can stamp, whatever you like. It truly is a wonderful way to develop a story or perhaps even an idea for one. I invite you to have fun experimenting. This was done using kids' tempera paints and ink. Tempera paints are fun to work with and an easy and inexpensive way to get into and explore painting. Now, keep those old sketches and what you feel are failed art experiments and repurpose them for collage or other art projects. So for example, these are some interesting possibilities. I was just playing with some alcohol inks, and these would be wonderful to cut up and use in other artworks. Paint and texture experiments are fun, and I highly encourage you to do it, because a lot of these things may not come out the way you want, but can be used in other art projects. So I'll run through a few samples really quickly. This was done using acrylic paints and just some tools to move the paint around and play with color. This experiment, I think I was trying to make some water. This was using a very glossy medium and some blue acrylic paint. This is another example of a texture that I created mushing some paint around, and I think it would make a lovely Soulcollage background. These are simple papers you can make for magazines. They make interesting textures to use. This one right here kind of has my attention. I see something going on. I'm not sure what it is, but I am inspired to do something with it, and that's what it's all about. I think I'll do a video on this down the road on how to make these. Now, for those of you who are new to creating and may not have a little toolbox of things you've been playing with, you can always buy abstract papers and textured paper from your local craft store. So here's a few samples of some I've purchased, and these all make great things to paint and collage on. Here's an example of how you might repurpose an artwork. This collage was an experiment, and I really didn't care for it. But I took one of these frames, and you can buy these. It's the size of a Soulcollage card. And I started playing around with different perspectives. And I found that if it was cropped a certain way, that I really did like it, and it will make a good Soulcollage card. No matter what your skill level is, or where you are on your art journey, many of these are just simple ideas to get you going and get you moving into your creative flow. Just know that you can create beautiful art no matter where you are on your creative journey. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe, and check out the links below.